Alrighty. Hey everybody, it's SK again. I know there's literally like nobody on here right now. Hold on, it's gonna get real quiet here for a sec. Boop, boop, boop. There we go. It's gonna get real quiet for a sec. I am playing on Nostalrius PvE server, which is a private vanilla World of Warcraft server. There are a plethora of these bad boys kind of out and about on the interwebs. I'm picking Nostalrius one because it's a PvE server, and I'm a Care Bear scrub that doesn't feel like getting ganked until the end of time. Two, it actually is very populated, and it is a pretty, very well scripted server. Though, honestly, I do think the Chronos server is probably a little bit better scripted, but it also has, like, a tenth of the population, and it is a PvP server, and as previously mentioned, I am Care Bear scrub times. So, there is that. I'm going to be streaming this live, Twitch TV, /SilverKnight16. I may be putting this back on YouTube as a preface. I may or may not. If I'm putting it on YouTube, it's probably going to be heavily edited because this is WoW. And WoW is what it is, but I've been fiending for this, like on and off. I've been playing these things for probably like a month or, well, maybe not like a month or two, probably like a year or so. And I finally wanted to dive into the thing again with work being what it is. So anyway, here we go for all the nostalgia-y goodness. I realize there's literally nobody on here, but fuck it. Also, just for the sake of mentioning it, I'm actually currently playing this with an Xbox 360 controller and X-Patter. No, it is not more optimal, but it is more comfortable for my hands because carpal tunnel and repetitive stress injuries, so there is that. Be forewarned, and here we go.
For 10,000 years, the immortal Night Elves cultivated a druidic society within the shadowed recesses of Ashenvale Forest.
I kind of wish that wasn't in the corner like that.
The catastrophic invasion of the Burning Legion shattered the tranquility of their ancient civilization. Led by the Archdruid Malfurion Stormrage and the priestess Tyrande Whisperwind, the mighty Night Elves rose to challenge the demonic onslaught. Though victorious, the Night Elves were forced to sacrifice their cherished immortality and watch their beloved forests burn. Seeking to regain their immortality, a number of wayward druids conspired to plant a special tree that would link their spirits to the eternal world. Despite Malfurion's warnings that nature would never bless such a selfish act, the druids planted the great tree Teldrassil off the stormy coasts of northern Kalimdor. Within the twilight boughs of the colossal tree, the wondrous city of Darnassus took root. However, the great tree was not consecrated with nature's blessing, and soon fell prey to the corruption of the Burning Legion. Now the wildlife, and even the limbs of the great tree itself, are tainted by a growing darkness. As one of the few Night Elves still left in the world, it is your sworn duty to defend Darnassus and the wild children of nature against the Legion's encroaching corruption.
I do like how it says that it's, we're one of like the few Night Elves still left in the world, yada yada. I'm like, dude, have you freaking like looked at this shit lately? Hold on a sec, sorry. Things gonna go real quiet, real quick. What? Real quiet, real quick. Words. I can do them. I promise. Okay, gotta pop that up real quick. Let's go ahead and set up my bars really quick. I am cheating by using my mouse right here because it's just a little bit easier. For the love of God, please grant me that much. Okay, let me go ahead and reload the UI real quick. Also, I don't really have any way to, like, type, so obviously that's going to be a thing. Okay. Yay.
What brings you here?
Greetings, I am Conservator Ilthilane, excuse me. My purpose in Shadowglen is to ensure that the balance of nature is maintained. The spring rains were particularly heavy this year, causing some of the forest beasts to flourish while others suffered. Unfortunately, the Night Saber and Thistleboar populations grew too large. Shadowglen can only produce so much food for the beasts. Journey forth, young druid, and thing the boar and saber populations so that nature's harmony may be preserved. Kill 7 young Night Sabers and do. Okay. But yeah, as I mentioned, if this is going to ever show up its way on YouTube, it's probably going to be, heavily edited. Because let's be real here, this is World of Warcraft, and I can only keep so much salient commentary going. Oh, hold up just a moment. I'm still missing an action bar. Why? Because I'm a dumbass, that's why. Okay. Go ahead and fix these real quick. I probably should have set this stuff up beforehand, but lazy. Actually, I was kind of hoping it would, to be truthful, but that's my luck. Key bindings, nope. Macros, there we are. Dismount. There we go. That's much better. Okay. Now, I need to kill me some boars then, correct? Oh man, the days where you could actually run on the first level. I remember that. I don't know why I'm making this sound like it's such a fucking glorious revelation. I've played on every single private PvE server that's come out in the past, like, year and a half. I played on Rebirth WoW, that was actually pretty well done. I played on Valkyrie WoW, that was very well scripted, but like zero population and nearly all of it was Russian. I played on Phoenix and Emerald Dream, they were shit, don't go there. I played on freaking, what was it, like Vengeance WoW popped up for a little while before that one disappeared into the ether. What was it? There was one that was called Westfall that was like, shit, some Wrath of the Lich King server that was trying to do a vanilla server and it like crashed and burned in like a week and a half. What the hell else was it? There was... Oh, what the hell? There was one called like Ascension WoW, which is to date the only other freaking PvE WoW server I've seen, and that one was complete and utter garbage. So I never really bothered playing that one at all. Oh, what else? There is like... I could actually probably show you the WTF file of all the different servers I've tried connecting on. It's actually pretty impressive just how many servers there are. And some of them are actually quite decent, actually. You know, surprisingly. They just don't have much of a population. Like, Valkyrie was very well scripted, it just didn't have much of a population. Rebirth WoW was really good as well until the server shut down because, you know, Blizzard and whatnot, and then all of a sudden one of the developers, what is it, they put up a donation thing of like $15,000, $20,000 to buy a server somewhere in like Russia or something like that. And then one of the developers kind of just like ran off with the money and then cut all ties with the other developers. So that was a thing that happened. Phoenix was a server, and that's just crap. I know that Kronos has come out with one, and I've fiddled on that one as well. It is, I will say, that one is a very, very well-made server. Very, very well made. But I've already kind of like cemented starting on this one. Simply, like I said, for nothing else, and largely because I'm a Care Bear. So, and I just dislike getting ganked. Not that I don't mind some PvP. I started on a PvP server. I'm not necessarily opposed to it, but it does get old after a while, so I kind of prefer PvE servers because Care Bear scrub and all that nice stuff. And also, this server, I will say, does have a much smaller population than the PvP server of Nostalrius, which has like, you know, anywhere from like 5,000 to 8,000 players in any given time. This one has, I think, hovers at like 1,000 to 2,000, which for some weird ass reason, I've heard people go, "Oh, this server's dead." I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? This was like the size of Scriptcraft, which was, you know, before Nostalrius came out, like the server. That was like a mega server. If there was like 1,000, 1,500 people online, that was like a mega server. So I don't want to hear that shit. I don't know why I tried to say that in a Scottish accent. Whatever. Yay! Weapon skills. Whoa! Okay, that was quick. All things told. Now, let me see. I actually have a freaking leveling guide because, you know, I want to enhance the scrubness to, you know, crank that shit up to 11. I may as well go whole hog. Let me see. I haven't actually really read the quest text here in a long ass time. May as well relive the nostalgia. There's still work to be done. Return to me once you've seen the Nightborn. Okay. You performed your duties well. Yay, gloves. Yoop. Balance of nature. Then in the younger population of creatures here in Shadowglen was a good start, but there is still work to be done. The resources of the forest will be The resources of the forest will be depleted too quickly if the problem is not addressed. Killing nature's beasts is a necessary evil for the good of all who share the land. Venture forth into the forest to slay mangy nightsabers and thistleborers in the name of balance. Why the fuck didn't you just ask me that the first time? Made it like a mega quest or some shit. By a message the druid trainer. Would seem to have words with you. There are a lot of people who would seem to have words with me, but whatever. I remember having my own special system for all of this set up. May or may not have been fantastic, I don't really know. It's been years. Thank goodness you're here, Druid. Strange news has traveled to me through the whisperings of the forest spirits. The mysterious woodland protector Tarandella has returned to Shadowglen. The Dryad's presence has not been felt in the forest of Kalimdor for years. Something is surely amiss if she has journeyed back to this land. Seek out Tarandella and see what the business she has in our grove. One of the sentinels reported seeing her southwest of Aldersill. Neato. Oh, you're a staghelm, are you? Remind me to murder you later. Don't catch on fire, please. Thank you. Oh my god. The congestion is real. A friend of mine named Iveron usually visits me at the same time every day. The strange thing is that he hasn't been by today at all. He's several hours late, in fact. You could, like, set a bowel movement to this guy. I admit I'm a little worried. Iveron spends a lot of time over by the cave to the north, and I'm sure you know how dangerous it is there. There's spiders everywhere. If you happen to be going that way, though, will you keep an eye on him for him? Sure. Sounds legit. So let's go over to this mystical, like, fairy dryad chick. I just now realized I've played this game since like 2005. I just now realized this chick's name is actually Tarandrella. I always thought it was Tarandella. Didn't know there was an extra R in there. It's the little things in life. See? Paying attention to things, right?
What is nature's call?
I see you found me, young night elf. Melithar is a wise druid to have sent you. Something evil is brewing in the forest of Teldersil. Look long to the hills where the peaceful Furbolg used to dwell. They have deserted their homes and are amassing under the name of the Gnarlpine tribe. Only the corruption of the of the wicked Fellmoss could cause such a transformation. The Grells and Grelkin have infested the area and are threatening the residents of Shadowglen. Engage these Grells and Grelkin and see if they are indeed caught under the enchantment of that wicked Fellmoss. Can I click this chick multiple times and get...
The great outdoors. What is nature's call? Hi, is there trouble? What is nature's call? Hi, the great outdoors. Hi, what is nature's call?
Aww, she doesn't have it. Sad. I was really hoping they would have those sort of like quote-unquote pissed emotes in which you would keep clicking them enough and they would start saying shit you wouldn't want them to say. Oh, good old-fashioned... What was it? I'm gonna track my human call. I'm so wasted. I'm so wasted. Oh, memories. Warcraft 3 jokes. I got tons of them. Oh, that's right. I have to shift-click to loot. That is correct. By the way, I'm putting this up mainly just so that way people can kind of see the buttons I'm pressing. The expatter profile, that is. It's not 100% necessary. I can take it off at any given moment. It's just, I figured that some people might see it interesting to see how I have stuff set up. And in fact, if there is anyone that's actually interested in it, I could actually link the profile or what I use for the profile. Because the way I have it set up actually is quite... I mean, it's not perfect. It's, like I said, it's never going to be as optimized as using a keyboard and mouse, because clearly that is what this game is designed for. But it gets by. You know, it's enough, maybe not necessarily optimal, but it is viable. Which, personally, is, you know, my big thing. If I can get by with it, I'm pretty much good enough. You know, I can make it work, then I'll make it work. I'm not picky. Except when I'm about to die, at which point I may rage impotently and throw my hands up in the air like a 5-year-old that, you know, had her prized toy taken away from her, but that's neither here nor there. Mr. Grill, give me your shit so I can turn it, so I can get some fat loot with it. There we go. That's the best I could come up with. It wasn't good, but the best I can manage. And realistically, you know, getting back onto like the whole using a controller thing, even though the mouse and keyboard is clearly what it's optimized for, when it comes to things like vanilla WoW, you know, and maybe it's just because I'm playing a druid that doesn't really have too many keybinds in the classic, you know, in the grand scheme of things because of so many different forms. The combat in vanilla WoW is slow-paced enough that you could, I mean, you really could get away with probably using, you know, for 85% of what you're doing, you could probably get away with this without too much, you know, loss of capability and stuff like that, because it's, you know, the combat in vanilla WoW, just in general across the board, is way more slow-paced than, you know, say like Wrath of the Lich King, or, you know, even Warlords of Draenor, even though they, like, super pruned all of your abilities, you only have, like, a quarter that you used to. They have, you know, the combat is a lot more intense, it's a lot more, what am I trying to say? Well, let me just try to focus on not freaking dying first. But, you know, the combat in later expansions was a lot more complicated. Hold on a moment. Why do you define me, computer? Why do you not do the things? Excusez-moi? Could you do the stuff with the things, please? Internet? Internet, please. Whatever. Fuck it, good enough. Okay. Oh, that's right. Shift click. Gotta shift click. Keep forgetting that little tidbit. Why right after midnight on a weekday? Because my sleeping schedule is completely fucked. Hello, Kago, how are you? My sleeping schedule is completely jacked up. I actually tried... Because I'm a night owl at heart, right? Despite the fact that my job basically has me coming into work at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and sometimes staying until like 8 or 9 o'clock at night, sometimes. Not commonly, just when shit hits the fan and I really gotta get shit done. But I'm usually in there like early in the mornings. But I am a night owl at heart. So I'm on vacation for a week, and naturally that means that my entire sleeping schedule has been completely fucked within about 3 days. So today, or maybe yesterday, I don't know, whatever Thursday was, I actually got up at like 7 o'clock in the morning, so that way I may be able to write my sleeping schedule. Except that I kind of only made it until about like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, slept until like 9:30 p.m. And despite the fact I actually am tired right now, like my eyes are heavy, you know, like I'm weary, I'm kind of doing this weird little like Clint Eastwood-esque squinty thing.
Is there trouble?
My suspicions are right. Bring me 8 Felmoss. Your service to the creatures of Shadowglen is a worthy reward. You confirmed my fears, however. If the Grail has become tainted by the Felmoss, only one can imagine what has become of the Gnarlpine tribe of Furbolgs who once lived here. Should you find yourself in Dolanar, able druid, seek out knowledge with druid Arthritis Bearmantle. He shares our concerns for the well-being of the forest. I can read. Case in point, I haven't really gotten much sleep. But back to what I was saying is that I'm tired, I want to sleep. I actually even made a point of drinking a glass of wine to help me sleep, and I do not drink. That is not something that I do. But I did it anyway, because for the love of God and all that is holy, I wanted to try and sleep, and it actually just woke me up more. So now I'm in a very strange situation where I go back to work in about 2 days, and I'm in straight up, like, vampire mode. So that may mean that I'm going to have to just tough it out and try to stay up all day today, which is honestly what I tried to do yesterday, today-ish-ism, and it didn't really work. 3, 4 a.m. my time. It may well have been. I don't really... At this point, I don't freaking remember. I said, unfortunately, I'm not really sure what time zone you're in. I just know that it's 3:30 in the morning a.m. my time. And my alarm, which is perpetually set to 5 a.m., is going to be going off in about an hour and a half. It's going to be quite fun. I see you're eager to continue your studies. Good. I wonder, have you spent much time in the Emerald Dream already? Perhaps you're not prepared for that yet. In time, I'm sure. But until then, we should discuss other matters. I will be your mentor and guide for now. It is my duty to teach you how to interpret not only what the spirits communicate to us, but also the complexities and secrets of the Emerald Dream. As you learn and grow in power, you will learn more of our sleeping trance. But until then, return to me as often as you like, and I will teach you what I can in the ways of our kind. Neato Petito. Give me my Mark of the Wild, yo. There we go. Give me that Mark of the Wild. There we go. Alrighty. Beast tracking. Okay. Now, on to the balance of nature. Hopefully I plan to actually hit something at some point. And not the ground, and hopefully not my own untimely demise. Excuse me. I know I can jump over you. What? Vasislas? I know I can jump over you. There's not an invisible wall over all of this. Whatever. Whatever. Fine, I'll just run down. Bastards. That irritates me. I know there's a damn way to do it. There we go. Kind of defeats the purpose. I wanted to do it when I was at the top. That's supposed to be where the, proverbial time save is. Because I was watching AGDQ, and now all I can think about is things in terms of speedrunning. Because I'm a nerd. Now, if I'm correct, I'm gonna go kill these things, grab a whole bunch of the Watsumoodles over there, the damn venom from the damn spiders that perpetually respawn, and then talk to the dude that's hiding in a cave in the corner. Spoiler alert. I know I'm spoiling a game that's 12 years old, and that everyone, their sister's already seen before, but, whatevs, it's how I roll, dude. But seriously, the congestion is real, my god. Felt perfectly fine until I started talking, and now I kind of feel like I want to roto-rooter out my sinuses. This is after taking an antihistamine. So on the plus side, at least I'm not, sneezing like a damn banshee. Excuse me. Oh, right. Key bindings. Right. This'll bore. Ba-na-na-na-na-na-na. Okay. Now, all the wondrous nostalgia, all the feels. I already know I've done this on like 7 different servers, to the point where the nostalgia has become less nostalgia and more like, oh Jesus Christ, I have to start this all over again. But the nostalgia of the oh Jesus Christ, I have to start this all over again is nostalgic in and of itself in a very weird and twisted kind of way. It's kind of like Stockholm Syndrome, but with pixels. Or excuse me, not pixels, that's 2D, this would be polygons. I don't want to misrepresent. I'm beating you to death with a stick. Because I'm a druid and I protect all of nature, and that is how I roll, motherfucker. Whoops. I also forgot how hard or how strong different rank spells are. Go figure. Rank 1 Healing Light is actually... Healing Light? Damn it. Healing Touch is actually, like, quite powerful. Because, I'm level freaking 4. I've gotten so used to healing spells only healing me for, like, 15% of my maximum health through the Warlords of Draenor. Or Warlords of Drano, or whatever the hell you want to call it. That I forgot that, remember the days when heals were actually potent? Remember the days when you could actually, cast one spell and bring someone's health bar up to full? And you didn't have to spam it and give yourself a repetitive stress injury because of all the times you had to hit the goddamn button over and over again? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Not that I'm bitter. Perish the thought. But seriously, I miss having strong heals. I understand from a balance standpoint that it made tuning fights difficult, and it made the whole, like, heroic Lich King, people having to spam heals because the tanks get 2-shot, yada yada yada. Yeah, that's great. I miss having strong heals, damn it. I miss it so much. But then again, the strong heals came at a price, too. Because I think, what was it? If I remember my, vanilla foo correctly, the only thing that druids really used when they were healing was, rejuvenation, if you spec'd into it, for one person, and then it was rank 4 healing touch, and I think it was, like, rank 6 for growth, or it may have been max rank for growth, I don't remember. But that was pretty much you stuck with rank 4 healing touch because that was like, you know, that was your cheap heal, that was your efficient heal. And then max, why do I keep saying max? Max rank healing touch was, I think, probably considered to be like the most powerful heal in the game for terms of raw throughput, but it was also the slowest and one of the most expensive, and therefore nobody ever used it except in conjunction with a macro. God bless my healing touch. Nature Swiftness Macno. Macno? Okay, now I'm just making words up on the fucking fly. Okay. Now the question is, can I actually reach you? Because the LOS on here is really weird. Hey, I can reach you! Good! I forgot, this is Nostalrius that actually has a pretty decent, like, pathing and scripting set. On a lot of other servers, you try to attack from that, and it's like, nope, can't find a path, and you're like, I can fucking look at it. I could spit on it if I wanted to. Again, not that I'm bitter. Stop poisoning me, motherfucker. I do not appreciate it. I am a creature of the wildlife, and, you know, I will turn into a cat and maul your face off. In about 15 levels, of course. Just you wait. One more? Yay! Now to beat him to death with a stick. But yes, this is one of the reasons why in Cataclysm and Beyond they, you know, revamped how some classes played at low levels, because this is like, you know, gameplay up to like level freaking 20 for most classes is cast 1 or 2 spells and then just, you know, auto-attack them to death. Which in and of itself, talking in terms of, you know, 2004 era MMOs, was still more action-oriented than pretty much any other MMO out there. You know, fucking Final Fantasy XI, your entire, you know, damage repertoire was just legit auto-attack. If you were a melee class, like a warrior or a monk, you auto-attacked. And you may have had a skill to buff an auto-attack, or to give you more auto-attack skills, or to maybe give you more crits or whatever, but your attack was auto-attack. You didn't have damaging abilities, you had auto-attack. So the fact that you could actually weave spells in between your auto-attack was a fucking innovative thing if there ever was one. But then again, I also played Final Fantasy XI, so perhaps that is not 100% representative of other MMOs out there, I don't know. I only got into Final Fantasy XI as my first MMO, so I don't really know if like Dark Age of Camelot or... I think EverQuest was kind of similar, in that it was extremely slow-paced. I think. I don't recall exactly. Die, please. Thank you. Oh. Balls. Of course my inventory is full. I'm throwing you away. Shiny red apple. I do not require you for anything. Yes, I just backpedaled to pick up vendor trash. Fight me. Oh, I got friends. Time to spam and hope one dies. Okay, time to get a heal off real quick so that way I can buy myself some time. And now I get to whittle them down into the end of time, or until I get like 90% mana, and then I can just go ahead and shoot him in the face with a green cabbage. I'm throwing cabbages at him and murdering him. I'm a farmer looking for revenge, apparently. But for real, if you could like drop your shit, I'd appreciate that. And not resist every other attack, I'd be really appreciative of that as well. Fucking webwood spiders. I didn't say bite me, I said fight me. There's a big difference. But I appreciate the thought nevertheless. Come on. Come on. There you go. Hey, even got a venom sac. Something I should not be proud of, but for some reason I am. There we go. Aim low, achieve your goals, avoid disappointment. That's alright. I can't English under the best of circumstances. I can't really speak my native language with any kind of regularity. Or native skill, for that matter. Oops, buttons. That's the one sucky thing about Xpatter, is that if I don't actually have it up on a screen where I can look at it, there are times I may not realize like what particular set, quote-unquote, I'm on, which is something one of the reasons I show it on the screen is that you see how it's switching between sets 1 and 4, depending upon whether or not I'm right-clicking the right analog stick. That is because, depending upon which set I have, I can either have my mouse control function, which you can't see because I don't have it on here, you know, so I can have my left click and right click, and then the other one is basically most of my moving commands and fighty goodness and all that nice stuffs. And if I'm somehow not paying attention to something, or if I think I hit a button a certain way but I didn't, I may wind up clicking to a second, you know, to one page or another without actually having a skill ready up to fire, which means I kind of have to scramble to figure out what the fuck I'm doing. Luckily enough, since I only have 2 sets, it's not a huge issue, but, you know, in previous iterations of my setup here, in which I had like 4 or 5 setups, or 4 or 5 of these particular pages to, whoops, see, case in point, I would have 4 or 5 of these particular pages for certain keybinds of this, that, or the other, and I'm talking a few years ago. You know, it got very confusing very quickly because I couldn't figure out exactly what fucking page I was on at any given time, and I basically wound up getting my ass killed a few times. So, there is that. I'm a scrub, basically. Is the long and short of that nonsense. Also, I am very sleepy. Have I mentioned that?